Welcome back to Honey, Listen Up, Day 2. We're going to be looking at energy drainers. Well, one year, right here in the Atlanta, Georgia area, I went to a John Maxwell event. And I've heard so many great speakers through the years. I have 21 years in with Mary Kay as a sales director, and I have all kinds of topics I have heard and all kinds of speakers. But this day there was a guy and he talked about energy. My husband had gone with me to this. And as we talked about this after the fact, my husband said, there's just one speaker who really didn't do anything for me. And that was the guy who spoke about energy. And I said, oh, wow. Well, that's the one that spoke to me. And that was because I have a lot of energy certain times of the day. And then usually for me, it's afternoons. I am tired and beat. I have no creativity. I don't want to get up and do nothing. And then what do? I beat myself up because I'm not doing anything. Well, that speaker changed my life because I realized it's okay to be tired sometimes. And today, our topic about energy, we're going to talk about how our energy affects us in our relationship with our spouse. So do you believe that there are ways to do better in your life? I know I sure do. First of all, there's ways to raise your kids better so that they grow up confident and wise and thoughtful, right? There's ways to learn just about everything through books or courses. And I myself have been through so many courses in the last couple of years, learning how to do everything online, learning how to present my topic of how people communicate. Books, you can just about learn anything. You can find a book on anything, but you do always have to remember that people wrote those books and the book is as good as the person who wrote it, right? And then one other thing is, budgets. We can all do better on our budget. There's people who lose their houses because they don't know how to budget, or they spend all their paychecks as soon as they get it because they don't know how to budget. So there's a lot of things in life that we can learn. And if we take hold of them, we can build a better life. So let's pay attention to the timing. We're talking energy. Have you ever noticed that when you're low on energy, you are usually low on patience? I remember one year, one of my sons they were having a baby. Well, their wife was. They had a baby coming along, and I took in their other 2 or 3 kids. And usually I had no trouble with the kids. I have a lot of patience. I consider myself fun. I could do things with the kids. We had a good time. But that day, I had been up all night at the hospital with them as they had their baby. And my husband was at home with the kids while they were sleeping. And the next day he went to work and I was left with the kids. And I just about couldn't handle it. I'm like, what is the matter with me? And my son said, Mom, they sense fear. Well, I have that fear. I had that weakness. Actually, he said they sense weakness. I had that weakness because I was exhausted. So I didn't have any patience. So let's think about the end of a work day, whether it's you coming in from work, your husband coming in from work, or you're home with all the kids. That's your work day. At the end of the work day, a lot of times we don't have that much patience with each other. Sometimes, people just need a little break to go be by themselves, to refuel, take a break, have a little quiet if you've had noise all day. Or sometimes people are talkers like we talked about yesterday, and they walk in the door and they're ready to talk. When mealtime comes, just like a little 2-year-old throws themselves on the floor because they're hungry or they're sleepy. Well, there's a lot of us who do the same thing. Well, we don't throw ourselves on the floor, but when we're hungry, we get frustrated easily. I know I don't like to make decisions if I'm tired or I'm hungry. And so you want to pay attention to the timing when you're going to talk to your spouse or when demand that attention. Are they low on energy and just not even able to give us energy? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me just very quickly. I have 21 years of mentorship, meaning I was a sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. Right here, I'm on the right in the purple, and that's my daughter in the middle, one of my good friends, Michelle. And in that company, I won several cars to drive, red Grand Dams. I also had 7 diamond rings I won and hundreds of prizes and parties, like at the aquarium in Atlanta and Oh gosh, all of a sudden I forget one of the places in California, but we're not here to talk about all of that today. So here's pictures as we did all different seminars. We were in different states. And in Mary Kay, you learn to encourage one another and to lift each other up. And I also learned during that time that everybody has different learning styles. We all learn differently. We achieve at different speeds. You know, some people like they join Mary Kay and they win their card directorship. They head to the top quick. Many people spend a lot of time talking about what they want to do and never get anything done at all. All right, but we all have different needs. So the picture to the right of one of my friends was winning her car. That wasn't when I was winning my car. Couldn't find one of those pictures at this time. So, but you know, learning new things is always important. And that's what I did in Mary Kay Cosmetics. Not only did I mentor and help others build their business, but I had the opportunity to constantly learn. And I think that just as a dance teacher, I taught ballet for 20 years. Don't add those together, those overlap. But I continue to learn things. And I think that just by teaching dance way back then or raising my kids, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to learn. And learning new things is really important. So let's look at learning to live together with our differences. When it comes to us and our spouse, is your spouse an energy giver or do you end up in the crazy cycle? Are you an energy giver? Or at the end of the day, are you exhausted? I'm going to share with you what the crazy cycle is. And sometimes this has it also goes by whether we're a talker or we're a listener and the importance of being able to do both. So today, let's look at jumping off the crazy cycle. Here's what happens. Remember on the first day, I talked about women are from Venus and men are from Mars? Well, here's the thing. Women without love, if a woman doesn't feel loved, she reacts, go right around over here. Let me get my cursor right here. She reacts and she's not respectful of her husband. And when he doesn't get respect, he reacts and he's not loving. Basically, they say that women need love. They need to feel loved and men need to feel respected. But what happens is when women don't feel loved, eventually they become not so respectful. And when he's not respectful, he's not loving. So what happens if you're on this crazy cycle and you're both irritated and you're both low on energy and you're both tired? You're not loving, he's not respectful, or let's reverse that. Maybe you're one of those people, you need respect and he needs love. There are those differences. But if you're not getting what you need and you're low on energy and you both are low on energy, you enter the crazy cycle. So even if one person has a little bigger problem than another, the person who really wants to work it out and do well, now you're both on the crazy cycle. Somebody, remember I said we go first? Somebody has to stop that, because once one person stops and pays attention to what's going on and uses a little bit of wisdom, and let's just say that you start out by giving him some respect and maybe he'll get around to giving you love. It's not always that simple. Sometimes people have problems, but this works for a lot of people. So let's define energy: the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. You know, we got to have energy to do what I'm doing today. You got to have energy to create something new or write a book or go run a marathon. All right. And so energy is something that we need, and we have to make sure that we stop to refill our cup. And if we pay attention to when our top energy is and when our low energy is, then we can certainly do better. So let's do this real quick today. Right here, you got to make sure you get enough sleep, right? So let's think about, are you a morning person and you have the most energy in the morning? That means you have great ideas, you're social, and when do you need alone time? So plenty of sleep. Are you a morning person, afternoon person, evening person, known as a night owl? And how do you do with your family? What is the best time to plan to do well with your family? And what happens when you and your spouse have a heated discussion and one of you is low on energy? I think we all know what happens. But what if we were aware of the best time of day for us and we only engaged in maybe talking with our spouse when they were, full of energy or had a little bit of alone time or quiet time when they came in from work? Same for us, because I don't know, everybody has different circumstances. Would that make a difference if you paid attention to your energy level? Then the last thing we're going to look at today is literally your personality style predicts how you re-energize. Some people re-energize by having alone time, taking a hot bath, or reading a book. Some people re-energize by talking to a friend. If you're one of those people, you might just be so tired you don't want to talk to anybody, but somebody calls, you slowly engage in that conversation, you get to talking, and when you get off the phone, you have a lot of energy. Some people are really challenge oriented. They love to have a goal. They have to have something they're working hard at, and that gives them energy. So tomorrow, we're going to look at one concept that will grow your connection. One concept that'll grow your connection. And your challenge today is to figure out your best and worst energy level and the time of day, and then do the same for your spouse. And then think of a way you can create a more positive connection. With that information, think about when you should have conversations with your spouse. And then I want you to put it in the Facebook group, the name of the group, Let's Talk Marriage and DIY Home Projects. Post your daily lowest energy level. And the reason I'm doing the lowest is because then we're going to compare at when all of our lowest energy levels are. So post in the Facebook group, because there will be a prize following the 5-day challenge for those who post every single day. So make sure you don't forget to post. All right, see you tomorrow.